Disabilities Act, which passed in 1990, and it has had a great impact on the citizens of our community. I'm not sure you think you know about it, but over 50 million Americans have some kind of disability, whether it's physical, sensory, cognitive, or a mental disability. Now, the passage came about as a result of a series of findings and research on things like discrimination against individuals with disabilities that continue to persist in the areas of housing and public accommodations, education, transportation, and communication, also in health services and vote and access to public services. Now, unlike individuals who have experienced discrimination in age and race and color and religious or age, we have had people with disabilities they've been discriminated, they have had no legal recourse. Now, the ADA prohibits discrimination on the basis of disability, including a person who has a physical or mental impairment that sustainability limits one or more major life activities, or they have a history of such an impairment and is perceived or regarded as having such an
honor North Carolinians with disabilities and their advocates, and to celebrate and honor the 20th anniversary of the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act. You've heard the resolution, and I want to tell you that 9 very special North Carolinians are named in it, and each one deserves a resolution on his or her own. But I just want to share a little bit with you from the history of the ADA, A Movement Perspective by Arlene Meyerson, which was written in 1992. The ADA owes its birthright not to any one person or any few, but to the many thousands of people who make up the disability rights movement, people who have worked for years organizing and attending protests, licking envelopes, sending out alerts, drafting legislation, speaking, testifying, negotiating, lobbying, filing lawsuits, being arrested, doing whatever they could for a cause they believed in. There are far too many people whose commitment and hard work contributed to the passage of this historic piece of legislation to be able to give appropriate credit by name. And without the work of so many, without the disability rights movement, there would be no ADA. These folks swam upstream. They worked very hard, and they got an amazing piece of legislation passed.
The Disabilities Act addresses through law equal access and opportunity for our citizens with a disability. What a giant step forward. Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, William Brennan, perhaps said it best: Congress acknowledged that society's accumulated myths and fears about disability and disease are as handicapping as are the physical limitations that flow from actual impairment. Our challenge that lies before us now is a challenge each of us must face and give deliberate attention to. In my humble opinion, it is this: it is how we individually perceive, regard, and treat persons with disabilities. It is the recognition that a person with a disability is a person first. A person with the same hopes, dreams, thoughts, aspirations, needs. In short, the same humanness as those without a disability. A person is not to be defined by their difference, but is defined by who they are,